All right, so continuing on with complementary and supplementary angles, we want to be able to identify complementary and supplementary angles from diagrams, solve problems involving the measures of these complementary and supplementary angles, and complete the steps to prove statements using complementary and supplementary angles. Okay, some of the things that I didn't list over here as vocabulary. We're going to be talking about linear pairs again, opposite rays. Rays are there, but just keeping that in mind that we're always going to continue on with with old vocabulary, but still using the new vocabulary. Complementary angles and supplementary angles, opposite rays. Okay, complementary angles. Complementary angles are angles that are going to be, the sum is going to be 90 degrees, and then supplementary is going to be 180 degrees. If you forget, I like to think in alphabetical order, like a lot of things are in alphabetical order, X, Y, domain and range, those kind of things. And here, complementary is going to be 90, and then supplementary will be 180. Definitions, right? Opposite rays. Opposite rays, we said, were when we have two rays, ray BA. Ray BA is opposite to ray BC because they're going opposite directions forever, and it forms a straight angle of 180 degrees. So given that, looking over here at our diagram, now, I haven't necessarily identified anything, but looking at that diagram, let's use some of the things that we know. I should be able to quickly identify right here, angle 5. What do we know about angle 5? Angle 5 is going to be equal to 90 degrees because it is a right angle. If I look here, you should also be able to see, hey, angle 3 and angle 4, angle 3 plus angle 2 is equal to something. And then angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to something. And I will tell you that looking at angle 3 and angle 2, they, ray BA and ray BC form a straight angle, which means that angle 3 plus angle 2 are going to be linear pairs. And we said linear pairs form a straight angle, and a straight angle is 180 degrees. So we should be able to say that angle 3 plus angle 2 is going to be equal to 180 degrees. And in the same rationale, we should be able to look at angle 3 and angle 4, straight angle, opposite rays, so we should be able to say that these two angles together are going to also be equal to 180 degrees. Let's see, what else do we know? Well, if given this straight angle, right, if this is 90 degrees, then angle 1 plus angle 2 should also be equal to how many degrees? Well, they are equal to the other 90 degrees because angle 1 plus angle 2, this whole thing, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 5 is equal to 180 degrees, but we know that angle 5 is actually 90. So that means angle 1 and angle 2 are equal to 90 degrees, or they are complementary. So I'm just, again, using some of my definitions, some of my words to identify things that are easily defined. And I will tell you here too that angle 2 and angle 4 appear to be complementary, or appear to be vertical angles. because they are formed by two intersecting lines. So just keep that in mind, that we're just using those terms. So I went ahead and used this same diagram, and looking at this, if we want to find the measurement, find the measurement of angle 1 if angle 2 is 65 degrees. Well, we were discussing that these two angles together, they're a right angle. They form 90 degrees because they are supplementary if we add in angle 5. So I know that angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. And if angle 1 plus angle 2, which we said is 65 degrees, is equal to 90, using my properties of equality, I subtract 65, and then therefore I end up with 25 degrees. Angle 1 is going to be 25 degrees. So 25 plus 65 is 90, plus another 90, so there you go. If I know that angle 2, though, again, angle 2 is going to be 65 degrees, and that should also tell me then that angle 4 is how much? It is a vertical pair, so it would be 65 degrees, or vertical angle, sorry. So just using some of the knowledge, using those terms, and we're going to do the same thing here, but we may have to do a little bit of reading first. We're going to calculate these angles, and they have given us some angles. And let's see here, didn't label them yet, so we'll say this is angle A and angle B. And it says that angles A and B are complementary. What is the value of X? Well, remember, complementary are going to be equal to what? Complementary, alphabetical order, complementary, supplementary. So complementary should be 90 degrees. And if they just told me that angle A plus angle B is going to be complementary, that makes them equal to 90 degrees. Substitution, right? Now I can do some substitution, further substitution. Okay, if I have angle A is also equal to X degrees. And then angle B is equal to X plus 22. So and that is all those two added together are going to be 90. So now I can do some inverse operations. And I have X plus X is going to give me 2X plus 22 is equal to 90. Go ahead and subtract 22 from both sides. And I have 2X is equal to 68. Divide both sides by the coefficient. And X is going to be equal to 34. X is equal to 34 degrees. So there you have it. What is the value of X? 34 degrees, or 34. Calculating angles, given the information, using what you know about your definitions, and moving on. Proving, again, we keep bringing this stinking proving thing up, right? Well, I know, let's see here, I know that they've given me 1, 2, 3, 4 angles, and it says given angle 1 and angle 2 are complements. Okay, so it looks like angle 1 plus angle 2 is going to be 90 degrees. Angle 3 and angle 4 are complements. Okay, and then angles 2 and angle 3 are congruent. So that tells me that this angle is congruent to this angle. And then it says prove that angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. All right, so I know that angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. And then I know that angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to 90 degrees because complements, right, 90 degrees. And then in that case, I know that angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to angle 3 plus angle 4, just by using the substitution property. And then in that case, let's see, I think we can go with angle 2 is going to be congruent to angle 3, and that's just the definition of congruent angles. So if we work with, let's see here, with some substitution, we know that the measurement of angle 1 plus the measurement of angle 2 is going to be equal to the measurement of angle 2, right? Well, we can do some substitution for 1. We say the measurement of angle 3. That's using substitution. Then we can turn around and say, well, it looks like angle 1 is going to be equal to angle 4 using the subtraction property. And what does that mean using the subtraction property? Well, if I fix that, that's what I need to do. If I subtract the measurement of angle 2 from both sides, I end up with just angle 1 is equal to angle 4. That's why we would use the subtraction property there. And then they are congruent, because if they're equal to each other, angle 1 then is congruent to angle 4, because that is the definition of congruent angles. If they're equal, then they are congruent. And then, oh goodness, let's do a little algebra problem here. And it says solve problems involving measures of complementary and supplementary angles. And they have told us that RQS, so looking at RQS, this angle right here, is congruent to QLK, so is congruent to QLK, and I've got the little congruency marks here. What is the value of x? Well, let's see, if they're congruent, then they're equal. So I should be able to do some substitution. I should be able to substitute x degrees right there. If they're congruent, then they're equal, so I have x degrees. So I know after I do that, that angle MLK is MLK plus angle KLQ. Okay, what do we know about those two angles? This angle and this angle are linear pairs, so they are complementary, or I'm sorry, they are supplementary. And if they're supplementary, they're equal to 180 degrees. And then I know that if I do substitution, that MLK is x minus 36, and KLQ is going to be x. When I do my combining like terms, I have 2x minus 36 is equal to 180. 180, add 36 to both sides. Uh, 2x, and then divide by the coefficient, and then x is going to be equal to 108. So if I come back up here, I could say that doing some substitution, if this is 108 degrees, x is equal to 108, so just substitute that in there, then this one right here would be 108 minus 36 is going to give me 72. Okay, and if I do this is 72, then again, if they're a linear pair, I would have 72 plus 108 is going to be equal to 180 degrees. So seems to check out. So there you go. What is the value of x? The value of x is 108. So there we are. We're just using these terms, definitions, applying numerical values to them when we know them, and simplifying. So there we have it.